Well, the road to the Derby picks up this Saturday at Fairgrounds, a place that I know very well. I've been there for a few Lecomptes. We've got a competitive edition this week, and we're excited to really dive into the road to the Derby on Horse Sense moving forward. Of course, we'll take some pit stops like the Pegasus and some other big races along the way. But overall, if you're into the road to the Derby, you're going to want to tune into Horse Sense starting now with Bailey and I.
Welcome back to another episode of Horse Sense. As always, I'm Bailey Armour, joined alongside Scott Shapiro, sporting a brand new hat this week. That, of course, was a gift from someone special in Secret Santa this year. We don't have to get into all of that, but this is our first episode back after that holiday break that we took. And like Scott mentioned, we'll be covering the Lecomte Stakes at Fairgrounds this Saturday. That card will come with a 1 million points first rewards. 1 million. Hold on.
1 million rewards points.
Thank you. I don't know why I couldn't get any of those words out. A 1 million first rewards points hit and split. There we go. On the late pick 4 on the Lecomte card, which will, of course, include the Lecomte and the Louisiana Stakes down at Fairgrounds. And then looking ahead to next week, because, of course, next week's episode will be all about the Pegasus. I'm even sporting my Gulfstream Pegasus 2024 sweatshirt today. We'll bring back that $10,000 Pegasus Exactathon and then a $10 money back special on all 3 of those Pegasus races at Gulfstream. So keep an eye out for a lot of that coming through the pipeline, and then some early weekday action from Xpressbet and FirstBet on the promotion side. What about tournaments, Scott? What's going on this weekend?
Yeah, we got lots on the tournament side as well. Of course, not of course. We keep saying of course. I counted you at 2. I started one in the first set.
Well, of course.
Of course. $500 Santa Anita Challenge on February 14th that we're starting qualifiers for. Feeders, whatever you like to call them, of course.
No, of course.
That is the truth, though. We have a $500 Santa Anita Challenge coming up in a few weeks, February 14th, and we're starting feeders for that. Of course, we got the Pegasus World Cup Betting Championship. I think I got that right. The PWCBC.
Hey, you
want to use those 5 letters if you want to go check out for more information. PWCBC.com is where you're home for the Pegasus World Cup Betting Championship. And then also we've got Beat the Host. It was Millie Ball doing pretty well last week against the rivals or customers, however you want to say it. And it'll be Michelle Yu picking up the baton. And I'm not certain, but there might be a lot of pressure on yours truly next week for Pegasus.
Ooh.
I think I picked that up with a lot of them all being busy with the big day. So I'm not sure, but I'm thinking that might be the case. So lots going on the tournament side. You might have your chance to beat this host coming up soon. Well, as I mentioned in the introduction, really looking forward to, and Bailey mentioned, of course, it's the Lecomte. It's the Lecomte on Saturday to kick off the 20 points to the winter races. And yeah, I've been down for a few Lecomptes, and really fun day. Really, all the Derby trail races down in New Orleans at Fairgrounds are a lot of fun. Smaller track, really good place to watch a race outside. Their new video screen's great. You can see most of the track.
Ooh.
Nothing but good things to say about being there live in New Orleans. Obviously, you can go to eat good food and get good music afterwards as well. Last year, intriguingly, interestingly, ironically,
Ooh.
Disco Time won the Lecomte. Why is that ironic, Bailey?
Well, someone told me maybe before the camera started rolling, and of course who's been looking at these nominations, and now I can't stop saying, of course, that you've pointed it out. Disco Time will be one of the favorites heading into next week's Pegasus. So it kind of brings it all full circle, talking about that this week and then coming into all of those races next weekend.
Yeah, the Pegasus, of course, the big headliner for our company, and headliner, of course, next weekend of the month in racing. Looking forward to that. It'll be 2 Brad Cox runners likely to be in that starting gate, Tapan Street and Disco Time. Disco Time won this race last year. Then we didn't see him again. Didn't see him before on any of the Derby trail. He came back in September. So looking forward to seeing how he stacks up against those. But first things first, the year before that, it was Track Phantom. I was there in 2023 and 2022. I think Instant Coffee won one of them, and Call Me Midnight won the other. So, not necessarily horses that have won the Derby hit the tribe, but you get some horses that can be in the mix. So this is kind of the start of that time of year, other than, random horses, if you will, like the coal battles and stuff that are just really, catch lightning in a bottle and get hot and are really cool and can sustain winning running in a lot of races. But
yeah.
Let's talk about the field a little bit. Brad Cox has won the race 2 of the last 3 years. He has 2 or 3. He's got 3 in here. He's got the long shot, who I expect Quality Mischief to be higher than his 10-1 price. He was 25-1 in the Gun Runner last out. That was a 6-horse field. Granted, he ran 4th by 1, but that was a lesser group. And then you've got Thunderbuck, who's coming off the maiden win over this racetrack, and you've got White Tiger, who's coming in off a couple of races at Churchill against pretty good company, actually very good company in his first race. So Brad has a strong hand. You've got Cherie DeVoe, who has 2 in here. It seems like Cherie is going to be making her presence felt potentially on the Derby trail now, and I would be surprised if things go well if that doesn't continue. Golden Tempo, though, big maiden winner on debut. Mesquite exited the best Keeneland, or one of the best Keeneland maiden special weight races, and then won his next start. So this is a good group. You got the Ohio bred Crown the Buckeye. So my thought on this race, and then I'll send it to you, just general, is I think this is a competitive group. I wouldn't be surprised. I should have mentioned Chip Honcho, who won the Gun Runner too, in there and stopped the car. But anyhow, that tells you the competitiveness. I don't know if we'll see the Derby winner in here, or even a horse that I'll be excited to bet on the Derby on Derby Day, but this is a pretty fun race.
Yeah, probably too soon to say this January 15th as we're recording what kind of Derby prospects these horses could turn out to be. But I think that this is an interesting race, kind of a repeat of the Gun Runner that we saw. We've got like 3 horses exiting that race. And then Cherie's horse Mesquite, who I was super excited about going into the Gun Runner when we filmed that episode, but he was a stake scratch that day. I don't know why. I'm assuming that they're more confident about his chances against this field. That's how I would read those tea leaves. What do you think?
He was scratched out of the last. We liked him last. I think something went wrong. I don't think that was the case. He might have. I don't have that. I don't have that info.
We could sit here and speculate all day, but I would take it as a positive that he's back here for sure.
Yeah, no, I think he's fine if he's back in this spot. I think he has a lot of upside and has done very little wrong thus far. I mean, that was not a great trip last out when he won at Churchill. Not the last time you wanted to play him, but yeah. So Mesquite is the one. I mean, do you think, I look at this race, and I guess if I ask about Mesquite, I would say, he has no speed so far.
Right.
Things change, and obviously you want these horses as they progress towards the Derby to show increased speed. A lot of them, because you don't want to be last, although that might not be true based on what we've seen some of the last couple of years. But in theory, where do you see? I mean, do you think he's going to be at? I mean, I see Crown the Buckeye, who's almost certain to be, in the mix. But where did you see other speed that made you confident, or you weren't really that worried?
Crown the Buckeye, definitely my overall pick in this one. We'll see.
Oh, you like Crown the Buckeye to win the race?
I like him to win the race, yes. I'm impressed by his, 3 back-to-back 80-plus buyers is something that I would look at immediately. Didn't win the Gun Runner under Jareth Loveberry last time, but gets a jockey change to Ricardo Santana this time. And I was very impressed with him on paper going into the Gun Runner, and I like him even more. I don't think that finish behind Chip Honcho and Liberty National is anything to be discounted. Chip Honcho is obviously a good horse and your morning line favorite. I don't bet that jockey. So.
No, Crown the Buckeye is the morning line favorite.
Oh, you're right. 4-1 in that too.
Whether that I wouldn't be one.
Whether it'll stay that way.
Surprised if Crown the Buckeye goes off favorite. I don't even know if Chip Honcho will. I get the sense that one of these recent maiden winners, I think Golden Tempo is going to take a lot of money first and foremost.
You think so?
I think this race was a tough race to make the morning line for. I understand why he made Chip Honcho one of the favorites, and I think
none of them are super dominant.
Post, he made one the shorter. Anyway.
Yeah,
that's a tough post. That's a tough post.
Are there any that you like? Because I know that I have at least 2 others in this one. I think this is a relatively even playing field, at least the way that I look at it. Carson Street and Stop the Car, I would like, along with Crown the Buckeye. That's a lot of C horse names.
A lot of Brendan Walsh horses you just gave me too.
I know, yeah. And Ben Curtis gets off of the one to not the actual one horse, but the other Ben Curtis to ride Stop the Car instead, who is undefeated in his 2 lifetime starts. And then the only other one that I wanted to talk about just briefly before we get into some wagering structure here is Carson Street. That's
Yeah,
one
you
of my
mentioned
other.
one. Yeah.
Yeah. But to go back up to him, the 2 here wins by 11 under Ben Curtis, who rides Stop the Car instead. But that was in the slop and first time Lasix here at Fairgrounds. Do you think?
Field too.
Yeah. Do you think that that was just kind of like a fluke day? There's no rain in the forecast for Saturday. I already checked because I was
I just
excited.
think it was a big. I just think it was a big class drop. Those races at Churchill, are the best of the best for the 2-year-olds. Not every one of them, but overall, you get full fields, and they're the biggest purses. And a lot of the best 2-year-olds and the 3-year-olds come from those races now.
Mm-hmm.
So he was keeping good company, and he held his own. That would be the positive to me. Obviously, and they took the blinkers off. I don't think he really likes to relax much. And I think if he gets them I think it's probably a little bit of a project maybe to get him to relax. That's my concern and why I'm wondering what, the pace. In terms of Crown the Buckeye, are you worried at all about like that the mile and the 16th against this level of competition is more than he wants to go? I mean, the Yalpin on the top is very sprinty, but I don't know. He's an Ohio bred. Like, to me, I'm going to hope those 2 go out. I like 2 horses most in here.
Okay.
One of them, and the one that I picked is White Tiger, and he's going to be my key horse in the race. I don't like him. I mean, it sounds weird, but I don't think he's going to move a lot forward off this race. Maybe he will. He's not a horse I'm going to bet in the Kentucky Derby Futures Pool 3, which I should mention will be available on Xpressbet and First Bet this weekend. But I won't bet him in that. But I think this horse, I mean, he finished very well in that Englishman race. Englishman is one of the top 10 on the Derby trail horses in terms of future odds and such for Cherie. I don't know if that Englishman wants to go the distance, but he's a really good horse. And this horse was second in that race, and Tigerman was third. Who's a pretty nice horse. This horse galloped out big, and then last out, he showed a lot of grit, and then he was. I just think he's got more to give than it looks like he's given on paper. And I think a mile and a 16th with IRAD being able to stalk just off will be good. And then Golden Tempo is the upside horse to me. If there's one horse in the race I think can move forward and be that Derby, type of horse, I think it could be Golden Tempo. I don't love him in this spot as a bet. I think he's going to get bet heavily off that 8-1. He's getting buzz. He's a very nice looking horse. He's well bred, but I don't think he got the true racing experience that I like to get out of that race because he broke last. He sat in the back like he was chasing a horse in a workout. Yeah. And he just made the big move. Now he's going to break with the field, you would hope. If not, he's done. And if he does, he's going 2 turns and he's going to be caught in the mix, and he's never done that in a big field. So that's the concern. If he wins, it's going to show me quite a bit. Do you have any thoughts of that? Is that anything you've ever done in handy? That's most people don't really. I mean, I'm not saying I'm right. I get beat by doing it, but that's not an angle a lot of people look at a lot because they're going to say, and they're right, it was an awesome effort, and this horse is bred to go 2 turns, and he had plenty left to give.
Right. No, I think it all completely makes sense on paper, and definitely hearing you explain it out that way. Hell, between the 2 of us, we've got like 5 of the 11 horses covered up.
Oh, it's a tough race. No,
I know. Yeah.
I think the way we should talk about this before we finish up from a wagering, because that's what we do here. We bet and
we try.
But let's talk trifecta. I think there might be some opportunity. I think, especially with an 8-1 key for me, there is opportunity. But I'm curious how you would see the try. I know you thought a little bit about the verticals more than the horizontals in this race. Did you think the try was approachable, or what did you think?
I think so. And once I started getting beyond the exacta box strategies of the world, tries have been kind to me. So I would say I'm more familiar with them, but always like to pick your brain about this kind of thing. If we'll stick to 3 horses: Carson Street 8-1, Crown the Buckeye 4-1, Stop the Car 8-1. How would you structure that trifecta?
I wouldn't try box them I wouldn't trifecta box them if that's
no boxes are for shoes.
Oh, there you go. All right, who are the 3 horses again?
Carson Street,
Carson Street,
and Crown the Buckeye.
Well, if you really truly believe that they're all equal, Like,
I think Crown the
you wanna
Buckeyes.
treat them as equals? I would probably
No,
no?
no, I don't think so. I mean, but
You
is the
don't want that.
easy answer, is it just Crown the Buckeye and then 210, 210 then?
Based on the way you said it, I think you think Crown the Buckeye has a very good shot to hit the board. Is that right?
Yes, yes.
You think he's going to be on the leader right there, and he's going to hang around at very most, and you think he's probably going to hold on. So I would make him my key horse. I wouldn't be worried about him being the morning line favorite. I don't think that, and normally I don't like to key a favorite in this race. There's
It's
no
so
favorite.
open,
There's
right?
no
Like,
favorite, and I'd be very surprised if he's the favorite and by chance. Like,
yeah,
I'd be surprised if he's 5-2 or something where that matters.
yeah.
So
It's not like the Best of Ohio
yeah.
day when he was
So I would just
1-9.
key around him. Personally, I would key around a horse at that price for just first or second.
Mhm.
And then I would stress your other horses. So, for instance, and we are hoping to very soon in the horse sense, we are working towards having the ability to put up lower third, which is a graphics term where you'll be able to see our ticket, but we're excited for that.
Taking your notes, yeah.
What's that?
I said instead of just taking your little notes, yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean for the viewer, I mean we understand when we know you haven't told us, but we know we're gonna get that up there as a 2026 resolution for us soon.
There we go.
But what I would do is I would key the 3, in this case, Crown the Buckeye, and I would key Stop the Car and the Deuce Carson Street. I would have them for second. And then a bunch of horses, perhaps, or maybe you want to keep it compact, but you can open it up a little more for third. Try to hit it a few times, and then do the opposite.
Okay.
And then I would play Crown the Buckeye for second, and do the same thing with them first and third.
Yeah.
So what that does is that you would need Crown the Buckeye to finish first or second,
right?
And you would need one of your other 2 horses to finish around it in one of the other spots. I think
that's reasonable.
But then you don't. But then there you get you have you're not over keying, so it's not costing you. You're pressing your right opinion. You're giving yourself an out on one of your 3 horses not firing, right?
Yeah. No, I think that makes sense.
If it was favorites, all favorites, you'd approach it totally differently in a smaller field, or you would just try to hit it very concisely. I would say you key Crown the Buckeye on top and try to hit it over the other 2, and that would be about it. And maybe use some other. You would play it way different in a race of this size. I think you can afford to do that. Kind of the way you would assess it, and we can maybe get into this in the future horse senses. The prices of your horses, how much you think the try could pay, is how much you'd want to invest, or versus pressing it up. If you're playing playing against all the favorites, you want to spread this out and make sure you have the combinations if the favorites are out, right?
Yeah,
that's the goal. 3 favorites are out. I want to hit this if my horse wins or runs second. Period.
Yeah. Yeah, the will pays versus bankroll management and investment. I think that's the next chapter of this, and something that
there's not one horse player I know that isn't constantly working at the bankroll management. So
yeah,
that's the hardest part. I know it seems at first the handicapping is, but bankroll management and making good bets is far more. And not to knock the art of handicapping, but coming from experience and someone that is better at handicapping is what it is, kind of, and your results are what they are to an extent. But the betting is A, where it's won, and B, where you're always working to get better.
As always, thank you so much for watching another episode of Horse Sense, talking about the Lecomte Stakes at Fairgrounds this week with my longtime partner and friend, Scott Shapiro. Let us know in the comments how you're going to play that race, if you like anything in the try that we covered today, and make sure you're opted into that 1 million first rewards points hit and split on the late pick 4, including the Lecomte and the Louisiana Stakes in that sequence. Keep an eye out for the rest of the promotions that will be launching next week ahead of the Pegasus World Cup, and maybe you can win your way into that $10,000 exactathon. We'll see you next week on Horse Sense.